There we go. All righty, Larissa. It has been lovely chatting with you so far this afternoon. You and I briefly went over the role itself, the duties that it entails. So I want to go ahead and start the interview process with you, Larissa. Before I do that, I want to highlight some key things on your resume here really quickly. As far as your experience. So looking at your resume here, Larissa, you are currently an office manager for Jackson Hewitt, looking to start a new role, of course. You also have a bit of experience as an executive assistant to the previous COO as well as CEO. So you also have before that office manager and again executive assistant. So you have a mixture of executive assistant as well as office manager experience. From what I see here, it's been over 10 years working in that specific kind of role itself. So Larissa, I would love for you to give me some further feedback or some, details as far as your experience being an office manager slash executive assistant.
Well, being an office manager, you always got to make sure that your office is presentable for clients, and presentation is everything. Making sure that you have a positive environment is always a plus. Technical, just clean, organized, detailed. Making sure that your office is open on a timely manner, always on time, never being late, because people and clients, they know everything is like a set schedule. So it's important that you're always on time, or you train employees to always be 15 minutes early. If you have to stay back the night before and clean up and tidy up, so then the next morning when you come in, everything is just presentable, because presentation is everything. When it comes to doing daily accounting every day, I do a daily accountant. I do all the budgeting, forecasting, year to date forecasts and reports every day to show like what my store is going to do on a day to day basis. I can speak to my employees and ask them and tell them and train them on like, hey, these are the goals that we need to hit every day, to make sure that our overhead is being covered, and set goals and make sure that we accomplish those goals. And that's what I do on a day-to-day basis, as well. And then I get with employees in case they need to be trained on anything. I set aside time and I do training on a one-to-one training, so they feel that, you're taking the initiative to work with them, and to know that you actually care about them. You're not like kind of like tossing them to the side. So I think that's very important as being in a leadership role. Not being an assistant, of course, being organized, very detailed, knowing what to prioritize yourself with, working on different calendars, making sure that you're in and out of meetings, setting up conference calls and Zooms and all that good stuff. And that's what I do on a daily. Every Tuesday, we have a regular meeting that's set up. Everyone's online, setting up meetings, conference calls, doing travel arrangements, um, doing all the bookkeeping, going to the bank, doing drop offs at the bank, stuff like that.
Yeah, no, that was beautifully said, Larissa. Give me a clear detail as far as your experience as an office manager as well as an executive assistant.
Mhm.
At Jackson Hewitt, how many people were you overseeing on a daily basis?
I oversee right now over 20, and then I've done a lot of training, like I mentioned to you before, over the summer. I do like 40 students where I'm training them to become other office managers or tax preparers or assistants or bookkeeper. I've done that the last 2 years. So I'm very confident in my role. I feel like with all the years experience, I bring a lot to the table, especially I'm well rounded because I come from a fast paced environment from New York where I have investment banking. I work with, top Fortune 500 companies, not even like the top 500, but the top 10 companies. I work with Goldman Sachs and the number one hospital for, cancer hospital, which is Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center, which is the number one cancer hospital in the world. So I'm used to working in a very fast paced environment, but Jackson U, it's more family orientated. It's a much smaller environment than where I came from. So I got adjusted to that Florida life of more family orientated life. All the managers from across the branches we're all like family. We do things like family. So, yes, I can say that I bring a lot to the table. I'm very valuable, and I know, like, when it comes to policies and procedures and just keeping things up to date, I'm a self starter. Um, Anything that needs to get done, I kind of like know how to dive in and just do it.
Yeah, yeah. And as we mentioned, you mentioned to me before we actually started recording was the reviews, right? So I went in and I reviewed your reviews that you received off Jackson Hewitt, and everyone's praising and raving about your customer service, the way that you were able to solve many issues that arise. So, the bread and butter is there. It's proven as well. So you'd be a great candidate for this role, Larissa. The last question for you would be, when are you available for an in-person interview in the case of a client would like to proceed?
Because I am currently still in my role, I would need like at least a day or so in advance so I can kind of work around and get an employee to kind of like cover my time an hour for that time. So if you can give me heads up a couple, like a day or two in advance so I can make arrangements, that'll be great. Also, too, as an office manager as well, besides, doing the coordination and making sure everything is detailed and clean and the calendars and the answering the phone call and being the problem solver, making sure all the supplies are up to date and we have, full supplies and ordering supplies and making sure that we have coffee and everything for clients and customers and employees. And, also too, you come to my office, you would see like I'm all about teamwork. And my office has like for employees in the back that all these positive affirmations about positivity and teamwork and working together. And so I'm all about it.
That's amazing. That's amazing that you create that environment for everyone. And so you definitely are I forgot the exact quote, but you are a testament to your environment. So you creating that environment for your team speaks volumes about yourself and the environment that you're trying to have with everyone as a whole. So that's amazing to hear, Larissa. Again, I appreciate your time wholeheartedly. It's been
Thank
amazing getting to know your professional experience. I'm gonna go ahead and stop the recording, but don't hang up on me quite yet. I want to continue chatting with you.
No worries.
Thank you.